for today's video, I want to talk about an issue that is personal to me, and it was something that I did to my own self, unfortunately, a number of years ago. So whilst I was at university, I lived away from home, and this issue was something that came up in my final year at university. I am someone that is cold like a lot of the time, so when winter comes around, I literally am freezing like most of the time, so I always make sure I wear a ton of layers when I'm outside of the house. But sometimes when I'm inside at home, I probably don't wear as many layers as I could or should, just because I'm at home and I don't want to wear a gazillion layers of clothing. I lived on campus for my final year. It was an accommodation that had heating, but the heating was on a set timer, so it would come on a particular time in the morning and will go off a particular time in the evening. And most times when you're at university, you find yourself awake through the night, you know, working away or doing whatever. And so most times I was awake overnight, and during those times the heating was not on. So I found comfort in using the good old hot water bottle, and that became something that I used day in, day out. I don't know if you could call it an addiction, but I would literally use my hot water bottle every single day. When I was awake, I'd have it just pressed against my stomach or laying on my lap just to keep me warm, because I would just get that cold naturally for me. And often I would go to bed with it as well, and I would go to bed hugging my hot water bottle. As time went on and the more I used it, I don't know if it's a case of my body became used to the heat and temperature, but I almost felt as though the hot water bottle was not radiating enough heat from me. At this point, when I first started using the hot water bottle, I would use a case, which is always recommended that you do have a case on when you are using a hot water bottle. But as time went on, I felt as though the hot water bottle was not radiating enough heat. So this was something that I did stupidly, and I would not ever recommend anyone to do it. Eventually, I took the hot water bottle case off and would start using the hot water bottle bare as it was. Initially, I would hug the water bottle when I was wearing, you know, clothing, and the hot water bottle didn't have a case, so it was just the hot water bottle as it stands. And as time went on, again, I guess, you know, it was not radiating enough heat for me to keep me warm. So the next thing I did was to then place the hot water bottle, the bare hot water bottle, on my skin, just because I felt like that was the only way I could get enough heat to keep me warm. I would do that when the hot water bottle had cooled down, not at the beginning when I'd freshly filled it up with piping hot water. No, I'd wait till it cooled down a bit and I could deal with the heat, I guess, it was radiating from it. And this was something that happened over a number of months. So as time went on, again, like I said, I'd go to bed with my hot water bottle. There'd be times when I'd go to bed and I would fall asleep with the hot water bottle laying on my stomach. So that's the bare hot water bottle without any casing or anything, just on my bare stomach. And I didn't think much of it because I didn't react to it anyway. I wasn't any discomfort like whatsoever, so I was happy to do it, and I carried on doing it over a very long period of time, and I didn't suffer any consequences, fortunately for me. But then a point in time came, I think, when I came down home to visit my parents. Because I got into a habit of using the hot water bottle, I would always go to bed, fall asleep, laying on my back with the hot water bottle laying on my stomach, and it just became a habit of mine. Once I was at home, I went, you know, heading to bed, I went to sleep as I normally do, and fell asleep with the hot water bottle on my stomach. I will say previously, during the course of the night as I was sleeping, I would at some point take the hot water bottle off my stomach. I don't know how, but I would always somehow turn and move the hot water bottle from my stomach. But on this one particular occasion, when I came home, I fell asleep with the hot water bottle laying on my stomach, and it laid on my stomach throughout the entire night whilst I was asleep. So I guess for that one night, I must have not turned over to my side at all. So I woke up, I didn't think anything of it, had a shower, and as I was moisturizing my body, I looked in the mirror and I saw something really dark and patchy on my skin, and it really alarmed me, and I just thought, I couldn't quite believe what I was seeing. And I have to say, I'm someone that has pretty bad eyes, so I just thought it was maybe my eyes playing on me. So I put my glasses on, had a look, and realised that there was some discoloration in my skin. Immediately I was freaking out, and I was really panicked about what it was and where it came from, because I didn't at that point in time make that connection to the hot water bottle. These were images that were taken a couple of days after I noticed my burn. At this point in time, the dark patches had gone down, but you can still quite clearly see the damage that was done to my skin. So I showed my mum, and she confirmed that yes, it did look patchy. So when she confirmed it, then I knew, okay, clearly something not quite right, and something obviously has happened to me, but I couldn't at that point in time identify what it was that had taken place. So because I was down home for the weekend, I couldn't go see the GP. So I made sure to book an appointment to see the doctors when I was back at university. And in between those couple of days, I did my own research online, and I was able to self-diagnose myself with the hot water bottle burn, or rash as they call it. And so when I went to go see the doctors, and he confirmed it for me, I told him what I thought it might be, and he confirmed it for me, and he was like, yes, this is a case of erythema ab igni, which is the Latin term for hot water bottle rash, or toasted skin syndrome as it's referred to as well. All I was thinking about personally for me was, when is it going to clear up? I'm not used to seeing my stomach looking the way that it did look at that point in time. And he reassured me and was just said, basically, don't worry about it. It's just going to take a number of, months, and it will clear up on itself. You don't need to do anything about it. You don't need to apply any product onto your skin. Just leave it, and it will clear up in its own time in a number of months. Personally, I wasn't quite happy with that, but I listened and I said, okay, they're the professionals, so they know what they're talking about. So I just took his advice and didn't do anything. And initially, when I first got the hot water bottle burn, I really did not feel any discomfort whatsoever. My skin did not scald like I would say with a typical normal burn. There was no scarring of any sort. If anything, there was a bit of itchiness. My skin would peel at the beginning. It peeled off a little bit, but that was it. There was not a great deal of irritation to me or my skin at all. It was just the mere fact that it looked discoloured and bits of it were really patchy and dark. So the first couple of weeks, so let's say month or so, I did nothing, and I felt as though there wasn't an improvement in the appearance of that patchy skin. I called up the GP and went again, and this time I saw a different doctor, and her response was the same in terms of treatment. She said, you don't need to do a great deal to cure it. It will clear up in its own time, but if you want to, you can try bio oil. I took that on board and instantly stocked up on some bio oil, and for the next couple of months I was then using the bio oil. So, and with that there was some improvements, but it was still not enough for me. My skin still looked dark and patchy, and I was not happy with it. I was not comfortable with it. There was no way I felt I could show my skin, because I had become so self-conscious about it. There was no way I would ever show my stomach at all. Like, I felt this is it. This is like, I can never show my stomach ever again in this life of mine, because I was just too self-conscious, and I felt as though, should I show it, I was going to draw unnecessary attention to myself that I personally felt I couldn't deal with. And like most females, I have a number of body hang-ups, and this was just like, great, another one to add to my list of issues that I identify myself, kind of thing. So 6 months down the line, there was some improvements, but it still wasn't a great deal. There was enough improvements to the point where I felt as though I could wear a crop top, but I would also have to wear a high-waisted pair of jeans, so it wasn't very clear, the discoloration on my skin, to anyone to see. When I did wear the crop top and high jeans, I would apply the foundation over it, because I was just that self-conscious and insecure about that, should I say. After that, again, I went back to the doctors, because I still was not happy with the recovery, and I still felt as though my skin was patchy and dark, and I was just not happy with the way it looked. And when I saw the third doctor, he finally said to me, you know what, it will clear up and it will take time, but there's nothing to say that it will clear up completely. So you may have to come round to terms of accepting the fact that this is how your stomach is going to look like for the rest of your life. And that was something that was, yeah, difficult to take in. I know it sounds so silly and it's so trivial, but when you've grown up and you haven't had that, it's kind of hard to accept. And especially as a female, I'm conscious about some things, and I do show my stomach sometimes. If you're in a bikini, for instance, I just thought, so this is it, I can never wear a bikini again. I'm always going to have to wear like a swimsuit or a one-piece bathing suit. It may sound trivial to you or to some people out there, but for me, it was upsetting to me. Once the doctor said that, I just thought, okay, so I may actually have to come around to terms with the fact that this is just what my skin is going to look like, and I have to accept it and embrace it. But at the same time, he also prescribed a cream that I could use to help reduce the appearance of that dark patches of skin on my stomach. Me personally, I was happy to take on board anything, because up until that point, no doctor was willing to prescribe me with a cream, and I was so adamant that I needed something to clear it up, and I felt like there must be something on the market that they could give me that would help, but none of them would prescribe me anything. So when he finally was willing to prescribe me with a product that I could use and apply onto my skin to help improve it, I literally swooped up at that opportunity. I was now beginning to come to terms with the fact that this is just how my stomach is going to look like. But at the same time, I just thought if I could find something that could help reduce that appearance, I would take on board. For the next year following that, that was a cream that I used in, day out. So I would apply it 2 to 3 times a day. And with that particular cream, I realized as time went on that it really did make a difference in terms of the appearance of what the patchy skin looked like on my stomach. I actually then found this renewed hope. Eventually, at some point, maybe in time, it may actually just clear up, despite what that doctor said about me having to accept that this is the way my stomach is going to look like for the rest of my life. Unfortunately for me, that was the case, and over time, the appearance of that patchy dark skin went down, and my stomach did begin to, you know, look like what it used to eventually. And I will say right now, my stomach is not completely cleared up. There are some elements of patchiness on there, but it's nowhere near what it looked like when I first was diagnosed with the hot water bottle burn. So I'm beyond grateful right now. I'm now at a point where I'm comfortable enough at times to show my stomach. Although sometimes I have my moments, there are days when I have my moments. I'm so fortunate that it has cleared up. There are a few things I've learned from this whole experience / ordeal, which is to 1, always make sure I use a hot water bottle with a case on, to 2, not fall asleep with the hot water bottle laying on my bare skin, to 3, accept and try and love me as I am, because you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow that may change the way you look. So appreciate you and your body and form as it is now, I would say. It's a lot easier said than done, but I'm definitely trying to love and appreciate my own self and love me for who I am and the way I look. I don't want to waffle on too much, so I'm just going to leave it here. If you have any questions about anything, message me. You can leave a comment below, message me privately. My email's down below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. I just wanted to share this experience just because you never know, maybe someone out there who has gone through a similar ordeal. And just to let you know, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. It may take time for your skin to improve and look like how it was, but I feel as though I'm proof that it can clear up. Although having said that, all skin types are different, so what may work for me may not necessarily work for you. And again, it could be that if you have had a hot water bottle burn, yours could clear up in a number of months. It may not take years like mine did to clear up and get to the way it does look now. As always, make sure you comment, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you guys later. Bye!